Throughout history, there have been countless unexplainable stories, events, and moments captured on audio. These horrifying tapes were archived, never to be heard again. Until now. These are the tapes of trepidation. Tape number 93. Forgotten Something. Lately, I've been listening to a lot of radio. FM mostly, but I occasionally will tune into some AM stations. I live in Ontario, Canada, just about 50 kilometers north of Ottawa, Canada's capital, in a small farming community. There aren't a lot of radio stations up here, but enough to keep you satisfied. I'll go on long drives around empty roads just to listen to the radio. It's some of the best times I've had up here. I especially love listening to the AM stations where they talk about the universe, religion, nature, mysteries, and such. One night, I decided to go on another drive and listen to the radio. It was 6 p.m. and fall, so it was getting darker. I brought a flashlight and my cell in case something was to go wrong. Then got in my Escape, drove out of my driveway, and turned on the radio. Flipping through the stations, I came across one that was mostly static, but I could make out a faint voice. Curious, I decided to drive down a road I hadn't been on before to see if the signal would get stronger. Lo and behold, I was right. As it became clear, I heard that the voice was a man's, although it sounded like a different language. The only languages we have here are the slang farmers use and English, which is similar, of course. I drove down this road as the sun went down. The signal became clear, but at the same time, the dark of night was beginning to flow out of the sky and onto the road. I recognized the language. It sounded Russian. The man sounded scared. I could hear him yelling, but he wasn't directly at the microphone. He was in the room, yelling for his life. Perhaps a loyal talk show host, still explaining to the listeners what was happening to him. But what was happening to him? I drove for about 10 minutes listening to this, when I started to hear him scream. I jumped up out of my seat as I heard how loud it was, then quickly turned down the volume. At the same time, I tried to hear what he was screaming. It was the exact same thing over and over. It sounded like he was saying, "My Ruki." I had no idea what that meant. But whatever it was, he seemed shocked about it. I eventually got so disturbed that I switched the radio off completely and turned my car around. I was ready to go back home. As I was turning my car around, I heard a faint sound in the distance. I cautiously rolled down my window and realized how deathly familiar it was. It was the man, screaming. I thought to myself that he must be in trouble, and that I needed to go help him. But what if he was being killed? Or questioned by someone? Or tortured? I began to feel sick. Either way, I didn't want to be part of whatever was going on there. But then I remembered that I had been chopping wood yesterday for my parents, and I'd forgotten to put the axe I used back in the tool shed. I got out of my car with my flashlight in hand and the cell phone in my pocket. I opened the trunk and picked through the junk until I found the thing. Am I really doing this? I thought to myself, am I really going to take this axe and kill off whatever is in there? I hadn't wanted to be part of this in the first place, but I was the only soul around, and that man needed help. It couldn't have been a coincidence that I happened to be around listening to the radio station he was broadcasting on. Luck was on his side. I began running down the road, illuminating my view with my flashlight. I soon came to a dead end, and a small hill stopping the road in its tracks. I'm getting closer, I thought to myself. I climbed up the hill and saw a small building with a radio antenna on its roof in the near distance, with 2 lit windows. I crouched and began to watch, as I heard the noise stop while going up the hill. For 5 minutes, I heard absolutely nothing. He must have died. There was nothing I could do now. I decided that I'd go back to my car, call 911, and explain to them what happened. Then, for a split second, I caught something out of the corner of my eye. Scared but curious, I decided to look back at the shack. Something was in front of the lit window, just standing there. I couldn't make out what it was, but it wasn't moving. A chill ran down my spine as I realized it had noticed me. I was frozen in fear. I couldn't move. It let out a terrible scream as it began to move towards me. I got up and ran back, leaving the axe there. I arrived at my car and didn't bother to call the cops. Whatever it was, I had little confidence that a cop would help. I drove back at speeds that would have definitely gotten me pulled over. When I made it to my house, I got out and ran to the door. I opened it, locked it, and proceeded to run to the guest bedroom in the basement, then closed the door and passed out from exhaustion. I woke up sometime later, feeling extremely cold. I must have forgotten to turn on the furnace. I went upstairs and saw my door was in fact open. I was paralyzed with fear, but decided to look outside. What I saw was a pale creature on 2 legs at the end of my driveway, holding a large burlap sack over its shoulder that looked like it was stuffed with body parts. It turned around and glared at me, then proceeded to grin and walk down my street, cackling with laughter. I closed the door and didn't bother locking it. Then went to the kitchen and saw a bag and a piece of paper. I read what was written on it. In all capitals it said, "Looks like you had forgotten something," with the creature's face crudely drawn on the paper, grinning the same way it had earlier. As for what was in the bag, it was the axe I had left on the hill. This has been tape number 93, Forgotten Something, by the Tapes of Trepidation Horror Narration Podcast. Forgotten Something was written by an unknown author and was originally posted on the Creepypasta Wiki. Narration, production, and sound design for this episode was by me, TJ Hodder. Credits for music and any additional sound design can be found in the show notes. The Tapes of Trepidation theme was written by the incredible J.M. Scherf. All logos, banners, overlays, and graphic design work was provided by the talented Jason Reese from Jaybird Digital Arts. If you have a story you would like to submit or question regarding the show, please contact us at tapesoftrepidation.podcast@gmail.com. Support the show by subscribing and leaving a rating on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, your favorite podcatcher, or like and subscribe on YouTube. And be sure to tell your friends. Word of mouth is extremely helpful to a podcast like this one. Check us out on social media through the link tree in the show notes. We have Facebook, Instagram, and Discord. And if you'd like to support the show a little more, consider joining the Tapes of Trepidation Patreon. For as little as $5 a month, you can gain access to monthly bonus short stories / micropasta narrations, the weekly behind-the-scenes podcast Within the Archive, and more. So come, join us, and become trapped within the archive. Just like my current patrons, Doozer Pindan, Ronan Komori, Patrick Stewart, Madam Strangeways, Dr. Torment, Tori, Queen Cam, and Kai Faden. Thank you all so much for the support. I couldn't do this without you guys. All content used on Tapes of Trepidation is either original, used with permission, or is available under Creative Commons by Share-alike license. All rights reserved unless otherwise stated. Licensing information can be found in the show notes. This podcast and its content may not be redistributed or rebroadcast without the express written consent of Tapes of Trepidation and the story's author. Thank you all so much for listening.